You're live, boys.
Well, hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxford, on the show this evening. There's our Port Bear Mead. Our GB, and the one and only Billy. Evening, gents.
Hiya, mate. How you doing?
Evening, Billy. Evening, GB. Take yourself off mute, GB. He'll be wasting a minute. How's Billy boy? How's it going?
Aye, I'm alright, Ox. I'm alright, mate. Looking forward to the show, pal, and having a chat about the famous. Looking forward to the game at the weekend, buddy. How's your good self?
Good, mate. Good, aye. It's always a strange build-up to these games, you know. I think everybody's the same. You get through all the emotions, you worry, you get up for it, you get concerned, then you say we'll do it, and then the nerves kick in and we all turn into jumping rates, mate.
Aye, you're right here, buddy. At the start of the week, I didn't know. I'm normally on the run-up to an Old Firm game. I'm high as a kite. I've got the battle fever on for the Monday. But at the start of the week, to be honest with you, I was just calm and collective, as they say. But up to the new... Aye, up to the new,
GB with us?
I'm with you now, Ox. Don't know what happened. There must have been that battle fever I was messing about with there.
Yeah, I think you've been drinking a battle fever, you.
Holiday mode, mate. It's Easter weekend.
Oh, holiday mode. You got an Easter egg sorted?
Aye, a couple of Malteser ones just in dedication to old Davy. And I think I'll go down the route one for Port Bear as well, the caramel Easter egg with the million, what do you call it, the minstrels inside. Can't wait for that one.
Oh, caramel. Is that what you're calling them? Was that the colour you're giving them? Caramel?
That's it. It was melting that night, mate. Melting.
Poor Port Bear Billy took a bit last night, didn't he?
He didn't half, mate. I was listening in the show, chuckling away. But the bold wee man took it well, didn't he? He took it well.
Oh, don't worry about him. He can give it an all when it counts. You know, all right. How you, GB? How you feeling about the game?
Good, mate. Probably like most fans, a wee bit nervous at the start of the week, but as the week's built up and you listen to all the sound bites and stuff like that, you actually start to get more confident and more excited about the game. So, for me, it's just go there, Rangers, and conduct yourselves the right way, and all should be okay, Ox.
Do ourselves justice, Billy. Yeah? Do ourselves justice.
That's all we have today, Ox. I've been looking at for different angles. I mean, for what happens if we get beat, what happens if we draw, what happens if we win, but we've no fans there type thing. And
I'm going to make a prediction, Billy.
Yep.
We'll either get beat, we'll win, or it'll be a draw.
I'll tell you, mate, are you psychic?
Right, well, you know me. Southside will be writing that down for one of his predictions. But, the question was asked last night, though, Davey, what would you rather win? It's hypothetical in some respects. I get where he's coming from. Because we're not in a good position in the league. But if we can win, how would the mood be on Monday, GB?
Oh, amazing, Ox. I think it would really, really boost the confidence for the rest of the season. I think the team will be kind of positive about the weekend, but I don't think they'll be fully feeling as if they can go and grab a win, if you mean. I would hope they are, but I think if they do get the win at the weekend and then going into that semi-final, I think they'll have full confidence that they could go and win that. No problem, you mean?
That's if we win, but we can win, Billy, yeah?
Of course we can. Oh, listen, we can beat anybody on their day. We've proven that. You know what I mean? We never got to the Europa League final because we couldn't turn teams over. We've went to Dortmund and won in Dortmund. So, in my opinion, if we can go to places like Germany and take 4 goals off a Borussia Dortmund side. We should be able to go to Parkhead and take them on and all and beat them on their own run.
Yeah. GB?
Hi, Ox. I mean, do you know, for me, Ox, I think it's a kind of, not so much a free hit this weekend, right? But I think these are the times that Michael Beale's got to work out where his squad's at, where he can beat Celtic and build the confidence going into next season. Like, I think it's like a kind of win-win for Rangers. I mean, if we get beat, we get beat. But if we win, then we've learned more. No, but what I mean by that, right, I know that sounds a bit defeatist, but see, for me, for Michael Beale, right, this season, like, I know there's a lot still to play for, right, but we need to be realistic. He's came in at half a season, but he's getting that half a season as a kind of a build-up to know what he needs for the season ahead, right? And if he goes into next season, all the excuses are away then, because he's had his time to kind of have his failures and all the rest of it. But going into next season, it means that none of the excuses are going to be there. He's had time to learn the league again. He's had time to learn his squad, and he'll have time to learn how to beat Celtic. And then after that, then like I say, all the excuses are left at the door, Ox, for next season. As much as I want to win, and I know the squad will probably want to win, and all the fans as well, but at the end of the day, if it's a defeat, Ox, nothing's really going to change. Michael Beale's still got to be manager for the next season ahead. So it's up to him to learn for these mistakes and all the rest of it, and then that way there's no excuses next season.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I genuinely believe if we play, we win. I know I keep saying that, yeah. However, you might not play and you can still win, because it's happened before in these games. You know, you don't play well, you get a breakaway, you score it. To win, you've got to score goals. It's as simple as that, or score 1 goal at least, you know.
Ox, if we go there and play it on Saturday, right, and we've got our backs to the wall for 90 minutes and we get 1 breakaway and win the game 1-0, I do not care. Because I would rather do that than hear all the football and get beat. And see the way I'm looking at this, Ox. We've got absolutely nothing to lose going into this game. We've got no fans there, right? The media's got us written off as per usual. They've got the game in the bag. The fans have got their game in the bag. Even our own ex-players have come out and says they didn't fancy the Rangers' chances. Well, to me, that should be all the motivation the players actually need, because the pressure's off them. They can go there and just concentrate on their football and be professional and be switched on for 90 minutes and go out and impose yourself. And if we do that, we can definitely go and get a result on Saturday. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. What did you make of the news today about how important Europe is to the club, GB?
Oh, massive, Ox. I mean, it just shows you, isn't it? I mean, that's the Europa League and the Champions League together, announced today, and it's some amount of money. We're never touching that with a title win. You know what I mean? We're not getting any of that money when we win titles. It's all about Europe. And I think we've touched on this a couple of times, Ox, about Europe, whether we should just leave Europe alone and just focus on winning titles. And folk have been shouting for, we want titles back, We do. We want them back. But the money's in Europe. And that's the only place that we're going to be able to take money for and strengthen the squad. Once we get in a position where we've got a strong squad, then I think we can probably say that we'll be dominant. But it's vital, I think, for your club, just the way finances are. We've not got a guy that owns a country running Rangers. We've got to, cut our cloth in Europe and the fans and all the rest of it. And the money, that the figures that have been released today, Ox, it's massive.
But did you make it, Billy?
I'm in the same kind of thinking as the good man GB there. Eh? I mean, Europe's a big money spinner, isn't it? That's where you get the bonus or the Brucey bonuses type thing. You get the Europa League money, or if you get in the Champions League money, obviously you get more money for that. But because, listen, as you said a wee while ago in the show, Ox, we've hit a glass roof in Scotland, and you can only generate so much money within the SPL and through sponsorship deals and TV money and whatnot. So for us to kick on, we've got to make sure that we're playing in Europe regularly every season and going as far as we can in whatever competition we get, because the further you go, as the figures have just come out today, the more money you can generate, and the more money you can generate, the more it goes back into Rangers Football Club.
Here we go. I just got a wee breakdown. Yeah, and 3.1 million from the starting fee, £800,000 for our coefficient, which is obviously rising. We go ahead of a certain team. 2.5 million for the TV marketing pool. 2.1 million for the group stage performance. That must be the points we're up to. 430,000 for the knockout round one. 1.05 for the further round of 16. 1.5 for the quarter-final success, 2.45 million for the semi-final win, and 4 million for being runners-up. Yeah. And Eintracht Frankfurt ended up with £15 million more than us, because obviously they get more TV rights, and that just shows you we have got a Super League whether we like it or not, because the money's distributed to TV audiences, GB.
Mm-hmm. Aye, and like I says, there's folk wanting to come in and make it even more lucrative. There's even us, Ox, though, runners up, you're getting 4 million. To us, that's a lot of money. There's no other competition that's going to offer us that. Champions League, again, this season, we don't know how vital that money is. As much as we went in there and we didn't perform to our probably best, Ox, see if we did go in there every season in the Champions League, seasons we're qualifying, that money is going to help keep strengthening us year after year. If we don't perform in it, I think we've got to be a bit realistic. I don't expect us to go out and get hammered 7-1 every week in it, but like I says, if it's mere defeats and wins, then we've just got to go with the flow and build that money up, because like I says, it's vital that it will help strengthen all areas of the Ibrox and the team, etc., etc. It just helps grow the club, Fox. And again, as much as I love winning titles, that's where we need money in. We need money in to help build a squad, help challenge, and then everything else will come with that.
The money's important to help us. Remember the league we play in. We don't have to spend masses of money to win the league we play in, or to. But we've got a competition. We're in a 2-horse race, Billy. Mm-hmm. That money's important to help us grow the club. I don't know how important it is domestically. However, if we want to keep growing, you need it. It's a vicious circle. But also, that ain't profit, Billy.
No, it's not, because there's other things to be paid after that. It's all right saying, oh, well, Rangers got XYZ amount of money, but XYZ amount of money, you've got to pay into that to pay wages, for talking's sake. Get the football team there, hotels, the upkeep of the club, medical bills, you know what I mean? Upkeep of the stadium, players' wages. So, that all gets eaten into. That's just a bonus when you hear the XYZ amount of money that's been made by the running in Europe. But Ox, when you look at it as well, you've got to look at this rationally, because when you look at the SPL, for talking's sake, and you look at the TV deals and the sponsorship deals, right? And then you look at the style of football. How can that actually attract top sponsors and top TV money, right? And then when you flip it on the opposite side, when you go in the Europa League or the Champions League, it's like chalk and cheese, because everybody's wanting to watch the Europa League and the Champions League. So that attracts top sponsors, and it attracts top TV deals, and that's where the money's involved. The big money's involved. So obviously our bread and butter's in Scotland first and foremost.
Yeah.
But we've got to make sure that we're always playing at the top table in Europe, be it the Europa League or the Champions League. Obviously we want to play against the best in the Champions League, but if it's a Europa League, it's a Europa League, because we've proven over the last 4 seasons how far we can go in that tournament.
So it's important. I mean, obviously the players would want big bonuses to progress. GB, but great point that Billy makes. If you think back to that Leipzig game and you think to the game on Saturday, you wouldn't think it was the same sport, would you?
No, no. Especially with the spectacle on the eye, Ox. You're right about the whole profit thing, Ox. Like I says, there'll be.
Oh, there's massive. No, I don't know how much is.
No,
that's between the players and their employers, how much bonus they'll get. But I mean,
but I've seen stuff today, Ox, where folk have been criticising Stuart Robertson for what he said. But at the end of the day, Stuart Robertson's probably close to what he is saying, because, like you say, as soon as you take wages, hotels, flights, everything off of that.
How much bonus do you think they'd have been on the players to get us to that final? How much bonus?
Oh, I mean, if you're going game by game, Ox, I mean, I think the closer you get, you're talking, your wages will just keep going up and up and up. I mean, so I don't know.
There'll be a substantial number of that money all went to the players, and the players and the management team as a bonus. Yeah, that's just the way football works. I don't know the number, but it'll be a decent number, Billy. Yeah?
Well, that's exactly what it is. I mean, I'm sure when different teams qualify for different tournaments, depending on what kind of budget they've got, whoever the team may be, for talking's sake, and how much revenue they're going to make, the club will budget for whatever, for talking's sake, bonuses that they can give their players and their management team for getting into different rounds of whatever specific tournament it is. And if you go one more than that, or you better than what they expected, for talking's sake, say the budget to get you to the quarter final, and you go into the semi and the final, then that's all even more money. And it's the same in the Champions League as well. When you get through the qualifiers, I would imagine that certain teams, Rangers included, they'll have a budget to get through the qualifying stages, and then when they get through the qualifying stages, they'll look into the budget again for how much money they're going to make in the Champions League, and then they'll take into consideration that, and then obviously the running of the football club as a whole, and then take it from there, and then obviously I would imagine the captain of whatever team it is will sit down with his manager and he'll say, right, what's the score, boss? And they'll go in, they'll talk to the board, and they'll come back and say, right, this is what we're going to give you. So that's how it works.
Aye. So, you make bonuses if you qualify for the knockout stages or from the knockout stages at the start, GB, and in the group stages, the players will get bonus. They'll get bonus if you progress. They'll get one bonuses in top of their normal wages in the group stages for the points you pick up. That's the way football works, GB. So there'll be quite a hefty slice of that going to the players and the management.
I mean, that's how you attract the players as well, Ox, because you'll turn around and say to them about their goal bonus. It's a thing that you could probably dangle as well to make sure the players are switched on, because if somebody turned around and said to me, Gary, you go out and score a goal at the weekend and you're getting $5,000 for it, I think I'd be trying my damnedest to score that goal. You mean, so it keeps the players, I would say, hungry, especially in these tournaments. It's funny, Stephen Gerrard touched on it with Morelos. He says Morelos loves scoring in this competition, and I know why. Well, maybe we know why, because I bet his goal bonus must have been through the roof then.
Maybe, aye, that's in that statement, didn't he, when he was laughing at him one night, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
All right, so good news, great news for the club, and I'll tell you why it's great news for the club. Every day I sort of look at this on this day, Billy. You know the last time we played on this day?
No, on you go, mate.
You don't do any homework before you come on here, do you?
Oh, because my mind goes blank when I come on the show. That's how when you asked all these quiz questions, me and Big Southside are gobstruck. You know what I mean? Can't I remember? I don't know what month is
Everybody
it?
will remember it. It's known on the year. It's known as the George Logan Final. We get beat with Raith Rovers in the Challenge Cup Final 9 years ago today. Let's be honest, it wasn't one of our greatest moments of the journey. It was quite sorry for the fans. But look how we've changed. We're talking about money for Europa League finals, GP. But 9 years ago today, we were gutted because we got beat with Raith Rovers in the Challenge Cup final.
I don't think that was Guinness 18 million ox. All that, I mean, so it's again, I know we don't like to harp on about the journey and all that, but it's night and day ox, isn't it? I mean, and now we're pushing.
But we're pushing. When I went into school, the next after it was sore.
That's the thing, Ox. But it's part. The thing is, we've got a history there to see how hard it was, and I think that's why we appreciate the team, the club. I would say more now, Ox, because that's everything we've went through, and I think that's why we crave these titles. That's why we crave the wins. I mean, the weekend there we were 2-0 winners, Ox, right, and still we're wanting more. And I think we're wanting more because we know this team's got more in them. We know that we know that we're in a position where we could probably wipe the floor with these teams. So we're expecting the 4 goals and stuff like that, but. I mean, I bet you if you turn back to the Walter Smith times, I mean, there was probably games that in amongst there that you were sitting watching 1-0s every weekend.
As bad as that, mate. As bad as that game on Saturday sometimes. Well, not all the time, but sometimes.
But we didn't expect, that's what I'm saying, Ox. I remember walking away from certain games like that, and I wasn't going like, oh, why did we not score 4 goals? Why did we not score 5 goals? But we know that team can score 4 and 5 goals. It's just that it's not happening. And I think that's why sometimes we critique them because, I mean, most times, like you say, we're happy with the 2-0 win, but we critique them because there's more in that engine in there.
All right, come and use your thoughts. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141?
What is it? 0141 356 1972. Phone in, speak to the reception, and we will call you. We'll bring you into the show. Obviously, call you back. But come and join us. Give us your thoughts. Give us your team. I'm going to put the 2 boys on the spot as we get through the show. Get their team, get their thoughts on the selection. And how big a game is it for you? And does it make any difference to you that no fans are there? Well, I mean, I recognise that people say we are where we are now, and it is we are. You can only deal with the cards you've got at the time. Yeah, we've got different cards from what we had when we played Raith Rovers, but in real terms, it's a short space of time, and where we are, we'll shuffle the cards and we've got a lot better on than we did then.
Aye, Ox. I mean, I didn't know that. That was the date 9 years ago to the day type thing, but I'll tell you something right now. If anybody had said to me 9 years ago after that game that we would be in a European final 8 or 9 years later, I'd have been looking at them and I'll tell you, I'll say, listen, the funny guys are coming for you. You're getting put into a white jacket, you know what I mean? But it's incredible how far we've came in so short a period of time. So it is, it's been a brilliant achievement. And listen, it is what it is. And obviously, our club is based on success and we want success constantly. That's just the nature of the beast at Glasgow Rangers. You know what I mean? That's just how we've won so many trophies over our illustrious history. So that's why it's got to be, and that's the way it's always got to be, Ox, you know?
And we should never apologise for it, GB. Never.
No, Ox. We done nothing wrong. That was the thing. It was all about us having to build back up, and we took it, Ox. We took it as fans. We took it as a club. And we go back to where we belong. And by the way, I don't think we would have got to a Europa League final if we hadn't went through all that. I mean, I think it was grit and determination that got us there and to prove a point.
Maybe bonuses for the players as well.
Maybe the Lamborghinis that's sitting outside Ibrox on a Saturday. Obviously a bit of that as well, obviously, but definitely, like, I got asked the question as well, Ox, at that time, would you have took the title or would you have took the Europa League final? And what says they don't come down too long.
That's like picking. What one would you take? The wee fella or the big lassie? What one would you pick?
I know, you can't choose between them. Just for that 1 year, maybe just pick the Europa League final because I'll probably never see it again.
Oh, it was a special time. It was a special time. You know? Definitely was, Billy, wasn't it?
Oh, fantastic, mate. It was, you didn't know, you wanted to believe, and then you were saying to yourself, can we do this? And then the further you would put out another team and win another game, you'd go, oh, wait a minute here. And then the draw would come up again, and then we'd go away and play this team, get a result there, and we're going, oh, wait a minute here, we've got a chance. And then it was getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And then, boom, you're in the final, you know what I mean? And listen, we'll take that to our graves ways, even though we get beat. But we're only a licky paint away for lifting that trophy, and that's how close we were. A licky paint for lifting that trophy.
It's gone now. You move on. You can't do nothing about it, GB. But I'm just saying it's a remarkable strides we've made on and after park. And I don't think sometimes we can congratulate ourselves, the support, the punters, some of the players. A lot of the players have done us a turn at times. They've let us down at times. That's football. And the people after part, some of the stuff's remarkable, and I'm not saying they've not made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Is it perfect? No, of course it's not. Could things be better? Yes, they could. You know, but we just have to keep going, and we will get there, and we'll get better and better, because financially we've closed this gap. That's us took £10 million near enough more than they took in Europe. They had 10 years of run at that, getting that free money in Tapios. It's some revenue gap to close, GB.
Ox, that's how what it says. We've got to have patience. I mean, Douglas Parks signed off the other day there, right? And we had Dave King and stuff like that. These guys have always said that it's going to take time to get back to the dominating side that we're all looking for. And what it says, we're working with millions of pounds. We're in a market, shopping markets where we're hoping for free transfers. We're hoping to find the diamonds in the rough. You know what I mean? And it just takes a bit of time. And unfortunately, like I say, this season's been a bit of an upheaval through injuries, etc., etc. I mean, but we're starting to see, like say, Ben Davis, John Souttar, Cholak to a certain extent. Lawrence would have probably been a success this season if he stayed fit. You know what I mean? The players are all starting to come. Bill's brought in 2 cracking players. He's picked out 5 for the summer already. You know what I mean? We just need to be. It's hard because we crave it, but we just need to be a bit more patient. And what I say is the club is moving in the right direction. We've got good people in that boardroom. And what I say is they're no fools. If they felt that anybody was pulling their weight or doing their job right or anything like that, I'm 100% sure that they've been tapping them. They wouldn't be wanting their millions to speed away. You know what I mean? So what I say is that's why I says it's remarkable how far we've got with the size of budgets that we've been working in, Ox. You know what I mean? They've not been compared to that Premier League. I mean, we're what I says in a small pond. Sorry,
a lot of wasted money down there. But what I also say, Billy, that doesn't mean I'm saying that I'm not defending my performance in the League Cup final. I'm not defending that at all when I say that it's remarkable what we've done. We should have still put up a better performance than that.
Aye, of course we should have. You know, but as I say, Docs, the expectation levels at Rangers is set. It's winner. Win games of football, win trophies. Second best doesn't even enter our vocabulary, so that's how we were all disappointed about the cup final, and especially more so when you play against that mob, because you want to, as I say, I've said it in the show a few times, I don't care if it's football or whatever sport it is, I want to beat Celtic 24/7. It's as simple as that. So that's how I think the fans and all the Rangers supporters were so angry about how in the manner of the defeat we got beat in that final. You know what I mean? Because we know we're capable of that. But it was just, listen, Ox, it was a mixture of things. Players no turning up, players no being fit, manager got the team wrong. You know what I mean? And that it happens. We've just got to accept these things happens. But listen, there's an old saying, Ox, when we're talking about the financial clout and different things like that. It's a steady drip fills the pail, as they say. And you only have to look down in England, for talking sake, at the turnaround for teams, and for talking sake, Leeds United, Sunderland.
That way, maybe who they bring in or who they sell, or etc. etc. I mean, it's like I says, we've got a right to question things, Ox. And like I says, the team this weekend, we're questioning them. I mean, after that final, we're questioning, are they ready to now go and lay down a marker? And like I says, we've talked about the Europa League final. That's it. Most of the players have got to be playing this weekend. You don't get to that kind of final if you're a bad player. And like I says, there's players in there that can be doing a lot better, and that's why we question Rocks. Like I says, this weekend, I fully believe that we've got a better team. And now, I think the final we maybe just caught Celtic probably a couple of weeks too early because Baskin and Cantwell, they didn't really get the time to settle. But they boys have settled now, and I'm hoping between the two signings and the boys
Are you playing Raskin on Saturday?
The press conference is tomorrow. If it stands in
Are you right. Playing Raskin on Saturday? There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just asking. GB, right. Are you playing? I'm putting them on the spot here, Billy. We put them on the spot.
Yes, put them on.
GB, are you playing Raskin on Saturday? There's no right or wrong. I'm just putting you on the spot.
No, I'm not. Which blows my...
No. Why not?
Because I hope the manager's kind of learned his lesson about playing unfit players for the last time. We criticised that. That was one of the main criticisms of him. Why did you put a guy in the park that wasn't fit enough for the game and the challenge ahead? Now, granted, we know that John Lundstrom's not been on top form, but he's a fit player. And then, like I says, this is his moment to kind of turn up again and shows what he's made of. Again, he's not playing against a low block come Saturday. He's playing against a team that's wanting to play football. So hopefully we'll see the John Lundstrom we've seen against Hearts, etc., etc.
Okay, we've been joined by Ian. Evening, Ian. How's it going, Mucker?
Yeah, not bad, Ox. Good evening to you and evening to the rest of the panel. Ox, I had to phone me because you triggered me. You triggered me. I was in the kitchen doing some dishes and I heard what you said about
Congratulations, mate. I'm proud of you doing the dishes.
Well, who else is going to do them for me? I'm not going to put them down and let the dog clean them.
Carry on.
Oh, you know me, Ox, I'm fully domesticated, Ox. I've done, what did I do tonight? I did a sort of jerk-style pork belly with fried rice. That was what we had for our dinner tonight. But anyway, you triggered me and I had to phone up. You said that 9 years ago today, we suffered the humiliation of the defeat in the Race Rovers game.
Yes.
That wasn't the humiliation, mate. The humiliation was a manager that refused to cancel a party and stood up and sung My Way at the tail end of a humiliating defeat. That was the trigger.
I forgot about that, Ian. I raised that.
Oh, I didn't, mate. Oh, not at all. That is all the good feeling I've had for the past 2 days with the lavender marriage falling apart and all the rest of it like that. Just cancelled it for me when you said it 9 years ago.
It doesn't feel 9 years ago, mate, does it?
Oh, God, it feels mere, mate. It feels mere. But, hey, can I ask a question of you in the panel?
Huh? By the way, before we great to hear from you, mate.
Well, we're still dodging, mate. Tell you what, Ox, you and your son would have a wheelie attention up to my house now. Because I now babysit my son's Rottweiler, who's twice the size of my dog.
I've not recovered for that last time.
Your boy's face, they turned the colour of boiled shite when they walked into the room.
Hey, carry on, mate.
That's your question. That's my question. How is it that the Justice Minister in this country, well, sorry, he's now the First Minister. Yesterday he said, it's not for me to mention, and it's an ongoing police inquiry, and we can't talk about ongoing police inquiries. Did everybody hear him saying that yesterday?
Yes, I know where this is going. I know exactly where this one's going. Carry on, mate. How
did he manage to get involved then when it was an absolute rubbish video? Rangers players singing, and he demanded a police inquiry, and he kept going on about it, and he still hasn't apologised when it was proved to be an absolute, as much as he has a fake. Now I hope you realise just how much I'm holding myself back from swearing here, Ox.
Your vocabulary doesn't need to swear, does it? The man of a wordsmith like your good self, mate.
Oh, no. I used to be a sesquipedalian, but I've stopped all that.
Right. I'll go last. Billy?
Oh, dear. Well, listen, I'll try and... I'm sure that the boys in the group will know my feelings on this matter. Listen, all I can say, would that be before or after they knew what was going on within their party? And that's what I'm going to say.
No, there was no collusion. No collusion whatsoever between the SNP and the police. We were told that today twice, so let's put that one to bed.
GB?
I mean, you're bringing up the subject to a guy that's asking for equality when he's in Parliament shouting for people to be taking out their jobs because of their colour of skin and stuff like that. So that just tells you the manner of the man. There's a 96% white population in Scotland. I'm not a racist. Ox will tell you there's no way I'm a racist. 96% white population in Scotland. Surprise, surprise, all the top jobs are white men. If me, you, Ox, or any listening to this show went over to the old country from hunchback uselesses, how many of us would get a job as a justice minister?
0.
We'd be lucky if we weren't beheaded.
Right, I'll tell you my answer on it. Yeah, I read that yesterday. Actually, I read it yesterday, last night. I think it's as simple as this. For him, he's got more faces in the tune clock, mate, and eventually one of the faces will stop working, and it'll be the beginning of the end, mate. Yeah.
Well, let's hope. I mean, the Germans have got a lovely
party. Anyway, mate. That result 9 years ago was a low, wasn't it? You remember Josh Logan? Do you remember?
Oh, he was ready for fighting for Mosney with Mosney behind the goals that day.
That's correct. No, we're not.
I mean, there were dark days. There were dark days. That was the one trophy we never won. Was it the Petrofac Training Cup or something like that? And we never won it. You had to be in the lower to win it. It was the only chance we had to win it. A certain manager blew it.
But we only won it under Warburton, didn't we? When Tav scored the goal, but it It's no fun to remember one of the best goals ever scored at Hampden, but there you go.
I can't remember us winning. I can't remember us winning that Better Black Cup, mate.
We beat Peterhead 4-1, I think. In the final, was it Peterhead or somebody 4-0 or something at Hampden?
That's right up there with one of my. That's right up there with another one with the Forest Mechanics that we beat 1-0.
It was a long.
Oh, that days, mate. That days. But anyway, I'm sorry for throwing these sort of red herrings in. I could not mention it, Ox. But you're talking about the game at the weekend.
Yes, mate.
And I couldn't know what I caught one when I was phoning. I couldn't listen to the station, sort of thing. But I heard somebody saying about Lundstrom, and I mean, I think there's still a player in there. I don't think he's been fully fit. I think they've been playing him when he's not been fit. He's definitely not the same John Lundstrom we've seen playing in Europe last season. But if they come out and play football against us on Saturday, we'll beat them. No question in my mind about it.
I'm not saying that. I've been saying it. If we play, we win. But you've got to play. Well, Walter and Jock Wallace all said sort of you've got to win your battles. You've got to show character and win your battles. And I mean, some of the players, I don't know, sometimes, excuse me, we're all supporters, and if we ever had to turn out for Rangers, we would give everything. There's some of them there as they're mercenaries, and you can't blame them. It's a job to them. It's the same as you do a job, I do a job. You do what you need to do to get through. But when it comes to the Rangers, that is why it's going to be a sad day when we see Steve Davis gone, Alan McGregor gone, Scott Arfield gone, the real blue noses in the teams. Ryan Jackson, another one. Maybe Ryan Jackson.
We've got to have a core of true blue noses in the squad, in the team. Even if they're not playing, they're in the dressing room. I mean, Jimmy Bell's going to be a big miss because Jimmy Bell wouldn't sort of let people forget who they were playing for and why they were playing for us. And you've not got any characters now.
No, and it'll be interesting to see what the signings are, Ian, because I'll take this from the panel of the boys and come back to you. There's nobody that you're looking at in Scottish football and you're saying I'm desperate to sign him, Billy.
No, not at all, mate. Sorry, mate. On you go, buddy.
I was going to say, I cannot, and I mean, he's a decent enough player, but I cannot see why we have bought the Scottish Daniel Prodan just to sit in the bench. Did they just sign him up so he could keep Helander company?
Scottish, is that, have you talked about John Suter?
Yes. I mean, you're lucky if you get half a dozen games a season out of him. A nice fella, a good player. He's made of chocolate. He's another Templeton.
It'll be interesting to see about Finlay that's allegedly, Ian, they've got to the root cause of his injuries. Allegedly.
Oh, well, let's wait. Let's wait and see because.
And you come, Billy.
Regarding Stuart, I think as Ox said there. Sorry? Oh, sorry, players in Scotland. I know that. Listen, there's no many players in Scotland that you could say, listen, I would like to sign him. There will be Rangers supporters playing with different clubs, I'd imagine. But there's certainly no many of them sticking out, if any, apart from possibly the laddie Shankland at Hearts. But that's about it. So we couldn't really.
Would you sign him in his last 6 games performances, mate?
Well, no, not really, mate, would you? But listen, our only other way of thinking about it is if there's no other Rangers-like minded footballers out there in Scotland at the moment, then we need to bring them up through our youth system ourselves and bring them into the first team, because that's obviously the only other solution to do it. Ian, I don't know what you think, buddy.
Can you come?
Oh, right. You've got Lowry, Devine, and 2 or 3 others that are sort of in the B team or whatever you want to call them, the youths, the Swifts or whatever. Are they? I mean, you're hearing stories about Lowry, good player when he's playing, and then you're hearing they're saying, well, would your own teammates pick you? Because it seems to be, the stories you're hearing is he's got a wee bit of an attitude. I've signed for the Rangers. I've got a ticket for the Rangers. I mean, that's me. I don't need to bother my arse now. They really need to show endeavour. They need to show, they need to show a bit of bollocks.
Character. That word you used earlier on.
Say that again?
A bit of character.
Character. They need testicular fortitude, Ox.
That's a blasphemy pass. GB, how important is it to you, of Scotsmen in the team who understand the club?
Ox, I never really thought about it until you brought that point up, and it is a concern. I mean, you're talking about signings in the summer. I mean, if you're seeing McGregor's away, Jack's away, Scott Arfield's away, I mean, Stephen Davis is away. I mean, looking through the rest of that squad and team, where's the Rangers boys? I mean, I know Ian's touched on Lowry and defining that, but they're nowhere near getting first team positions. I mean, so if you're looking at proper first team players, you've got a captain there, right, and Golson to a certain extent who understands Rangers, but they're not being brought up. They've been born Rangers players, and that is a concern. I mean, where are we going to get these boys in who have got decent talent about that are going to come in and replace, like say, an Arfield who's fired up for the Old Firm derbies and stuff like that? I mean, are we going to leave it to guys that they've just picked up half the other players? That is a bit of a concern.
Remember, apart from McGregor, the other three were signed. They've not come through the ranks. There's only McGregor come through the ranks as such. GB.
Aye.
You know, so
and we've got that homegrown thing as well, haven't we? To deal with.
Yeah. Ian, what did you make of that the day when the money came out for Europe? As a club, the revenue, the percentage of what you're getting for Europe is a high percentage, isn't it?
Oh, aye, but I also heard what you said, how much is going to be going to management and players. I mean, that's not just money. That's not just money that they can hand to Beale. I mean, we've got a club to run, not just a football team. You've got a full club to run. And I mean, some of the stuff I'm hearing about Douglas Park is ridiculous. Douglas Park is sort of put his shot on it to keep the place going, especially during the pandemic. There was no money about. I mean, it was people like Douglas Park that was putting their hand in their pocket, and then they've turned it to equity this week. Was it 25 pence a share or something? Rather than have to pay the money back, they'll give them shares. So there's a lot of people with decent Rangers background behind the scenes trying their best. And people need to realise that.
Well, I don't think Douglas Park was one to get any equity back this particular time, but there was another, maybe 2 or 3 people did. But aye, man.
And then there was somebody else. There was somebody else saying they'd be glad to see the back of Douglas Park because he was digging his heels in with the Cinch thing. To me, that made my heart swell with pride. We've got a Rangers man there prepared to fight the SFA like we used to do. The SFA, the two of them could be intertwined. The SFA have done what they can to sort of just to keep us down. And for Douglas Park to turn around and say, stick your Cinch deal up your arse, because I was in first. I was putting money into this club before Cinch was even a thought. So, and I mean, when you look at the deal that we've got with Cinch, I think the English women's cricket team get more happy cinching with Scottish football, do they?
I think it's about $5,000 a game for your club, Ian. $5,000 a game.
You've spent that on pies, Ox.
No pies.
$5,000 a game. You bought that on pies. And no, it's a pittance, and I know that we're bottom end of the scale. Scottish football, nobody would wipe their arse with us if they could get away with it, sort of thing. We're below Norway, we're below Denmark. I think we're only sort of a bit level with Moldova with the sort of television deals that they're getting. And then they're still taking 6-figure salaries. The SFA board are still taking 6-figure salaries. I mean, We went through the looking glass on this one. We went right down the rabbit hole. You get people there, you wouldn't trust them running the corner shop, and they're running Scottish football.
Maybe one of the dominoes, when the other dominoes are collapsing through where they're coming through, might just hit into another domino.
Well, I don't know. I still remember we sat and spoke I can't remember the guy that was at the top of the SFP at that time. Remember they left a blank piece of paper with his signature on it and said, I'm away for my dinner down in Yorkshire, just put down what you want. One of the SFA meetings when they were putting us down. And don't ever forget that spam email. I had a right rear up with a neighbour of mine a couple of weeks ago. He was saying, you won the COVID league. I said, you won the fucking spam email league, you bastard.
Things have changed.
Sorry.
What's your language?
Sorry. I did say at the beginning I was struggling.
Right, he's Ricky Potter. That's what they've all forgot. They've all forgot that, and they've all forgot some of the things that's happened. It's funny how teams forget their history, Billy, isn't it?
Aye, conveniently, isn't it? They sing about it often enough and then conveniently forget about it when it matters.
Ian.
Yes, mate.
Going back to that Wraith Rovers and some of the other things, I'll ask you a serious question, yeah. Did you ever think at that particular time you'd ever see Rangers in a European final again?
Yes. I'm the eternal optimist. I am the eternal optimist. I was looking for us winning. I still think and I'm a septuagenarian now, Hawks. I think before they plant me, I will see Rangers winning the Champions League. That is what keeps me going. That's what gets me up every morning. That one day we are going to win the Champions League.
Right, we need to get him drugs tested.
Oh no, I would feel it. I'd feel it miserably. The cup might melt.
I was really, just to let you know, we were with CC a couple of weeks ago, yeah?
He was telling me, he was at the speakers night, he was telling us, still he calling?
Aye, top man. Don't tell him I said that.
I've talked to Malkster, and I see Malkster and Junior every now and then. The last time I seen Malkster, we went to, I was surprised, I was very surprised there was nobody for Rangers Radio turned up at True Blue's funeral.
Who was going to go? We had somebody going to go because the people we know couldn't. It was COVID, obviously. I can't, for obvious reasons, yeah.
No, obviously you can't. It's hard for you, but I was quite surprised. I mean, me and Malkster were there. I was with Malkster, and obviously met True's son and things like that. 2 or 3 other folk that I knew, but I was quite surprised there was nobody for Rangers Radio there. I'm just saying that was the last time I actually seen Malkster, because he used to sing at Kirkintilloch, Rangers Supporters Club. I used to go through there to see him.
That was the last time I was in that. Actually, it was a funeral. Won the Champions League, GB. You'll take that.
Next season, Ox, when we get these 5 signings in, they're going to be world changers. We're going to be sitting top of the pile, beating Chelsea, beating Real Madrid, and everything on the way to it.
Well, I don't know which one of your panel said about Lawrence. I mean, how unlucky have we been with signings? Lawrence was coming on to a game that's second to none. Lawrence would have got player of the season. I mean, he was absolutely setting everything on fire, and a stupid wee injury. And it just went on and on. I mean, they're all going on about Ross Wilson. He needs his arse booting out the door. But for Christ's sake, please take the medical lot with you. That medical lot who... Right back, they signed Daniel Prodan. That was Rangers medical staff signed Daniel Prodan, and it went by there, and it's sort of swirled the brain and just kept going.
It's been a bizarre season as far as that's concerned, isn't it? I mean, when you look at it, and it's just been one after another, isn't it? We're getting a bit of consistency now, but up to about maybe January, it was bizarre, Billy, yeah?
Well, if you look at the long-termers, Hollander, Lawrence, Hadji was out for over a year. I mean, we've just been sort of decimated with injuries. But it needs a proper it needs a red root and branch, absolute root and branch, and I hope it happens in the summer. Early in the summer. I don't want him sort of last minute. I don't want Ross Wilson bringing another Welsh gobshite in to miss a penalty. I really don't.
I think that's one of the reasons his popularity is waned, shall we say, GB Ross Wilson. I think the Ramsey one is still hangs heavy with a lot of you, sir.
Aye. And then I think the sort of one on top of that added to it like tenfold, because Ramsey, I think when we all heard the name, we were like, we're bringing him in. He'll just need a couple of games and he'll be fully fit and ready to smash the Scottish League. And what we found to our downfall was that Ramsey was coming to us carrying injuries and not really got to get fit. And Ross Wilson, knowing that, I get it that he's probably took a punt on the Ox, but it was a bad punt, and then he should have learned from that. And then he went in for obviously Suter, and Suter ended up being the exact same way. Ended up being a player that we signed and ended up carrying an injury, and then we never seen him. That just adds to a bad CV, along with everything else that kind of came with that with injuries. The only kudos I'll give to Mox is that, like I say, some of these players that we are getting back now are showing promise. Once, like I says, I think Ian's touched on him, Lawrence. I think Lawrence was really good because he was coming into the team. He was actually taking free kicks. He was pushing like the ball on Tav out the road because he was wanting to take corners and free kicks. Great to see somebody else out with the A2 wanting to do that. And then obviously now we're seeing John Suter. John Suter's coming into this kind of back three, looking good. Ridvan's looking good. And then Ben Davis. Ben Davis has turned into a new Hollander. I mean, so that's the only kind of kudos I'm giving Ross Wilson in the sense of if they were his kind of picks, then they are kind of coming to fruition a bit.
Right, Ian, give your last shout out to all your fans out there, because you've still got loads
of them. You were talking, is there any word in the injuries yet for the weekend? Is Raskin's coming up again? Tillman's a great player. Campbell's a great player. Can we play the three of them together?
Great question.
That was the other question I was going to ask you.
Right, hold that question, because we're going to have a tune, mate. Right?
No bother.
Right, let's have a tune.
Took a trip to Eyebrow, my favorite team for to cheer, where they were playing the Glasgow Celtic on the first day of the year. Now the ground was filled to capacity as the teams come out to play. The animals sang the soldiers' song, and the people sang Dolly Gray. Now half-time it came and went in. The Glasgow Celtic were in the lead. Fenian Tully was drowning everywhere, shaking his rosary beads, while the green flags, they were flying high. Celtic hearts were full of pride. The second half, sure it started, and the Rangers, they turned the tide. Won't we play up the Glasgow Rangers? Oh, play up the boys in blue. Oh, play up the Glasgow Rangers. We're here to cheer for you. Now the ball goes out to Walker, and from 30 yards he did score. Sure you couldn't hear your ears at Ibrox Park for the sash my father wore. All play up the Glasgow Rangers. Sammy Cox is on the ball. He slips it through to Willie Woodbarn. then offered to eat McCall. McCall to Billy Simpson. Oh, here come the boys in blue. Well, Simpson beats the Celtic center half, and then goes number 2. Now the Rangers fans are roaring. Jardine Young, he takes a free onto the head of William Simpson. And then goes number 3. Well, it's 3-1 for the Rangers. That was the final score. A happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Celtic once more. Yes, a happy new year from Ibrox Park, for Rangers beat the Fenians once more.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, you knew this moment was coming when you joined us tonight, Billy. GB, give us your teams then for Saturday. Raskin, Tillman, Cadmill. Give us your team. Billy boy.
Right, I'll go a 3-5-2 Ox. And I'll go, obviously, McGregor in goals. Suter, Golson and Davids, the back 3. And my 5 across the middle of the park would be Tavernier, Jack, Lundstrom, Cantwell and Borna. And my 2 up front would be Tillman and Kolach.
Right. GB.
McGregor, Tav, Golson, Davies, Borna, Jack, Lundstrom, Cantwell, Ken, Morelos, Tillman.
All right. So the twos have got Raskin in the team. Billy, what's your rationale?
We're asking.
Aye.
Listen, I would love to play the laddie, but I just think if he's got a quad muscle, unless he's had a major improvement in his fitness,
match fitness.
The last.
Issue.
Aye, mate, because listen, he come in, we never played him in the cup final. We know that he never played in the cup final, right? And the boy, he was starting to get up to speed a wee bit. Then he obviously had that setback, Ox. And the last thing you're wanting is a lad to carry an injury in there. We need, you could say to yourself, well, Suter's no match fit, but my thinking for that is as well, Ox, if you've got Tavernier and Jack sitting in front of him, one could tuck in for him if, for talk's sake, Tavernier was bombing on to support the front 2.
What
on
chances,
the right hand side of the parquet.
What's the chances of that happening, Billy?
What's that?
The team that you what do you think the chances of that happening is?
Well, listen, it's all about opinions, mate, isn't it?
No,
Do we go with the tried and tested?
Yeah, I get that.
But a 3-5.
Yeah. Do you think?
Do we go with the 3-5-2?
Do you think it'll change the whole setup and play a guy who's played about what sort of played half an hour, maybe total?
Aye, and that's what I was trying to explain to you there, mate. Have you played that right? We know how Celtic's going to come. Is they're going to come with runners, right? That's what they're going to do. They're breaking 5s and 6 up front, right? And we've got to try and nullify that, right? So in my opinion, Ox, we've got to flood that midfield big time and shut out the 2 white. Yeah, what's his name? I don't even know their names. I can't even remember their names. But we know the ones that make the runs, right? So we've got to nullify that. So if we've got the 5 along the midfield, right? that shuts the space down. And obviously, as I said there with Shooter, right? Obviously, Shooter's not had a lot of game time, right? I get that. But the same token is, right, you've got Jack there who's sitting in front of him and Tavernier wide right. Now, Jack can, for talking sake, if Tavernier was bombing on, Jack could go in there and sitting in front of Shooter or sitting beside him, and playing the right-hand side of him as a right back type thing and cover for Tavernier. Plus, if they get in behind us, then we can go to a back five. You know what I mean? Similar the way we played in Europe at times to nullify them so there's no space. But that's in my opinion, Ox, that's where the game's got to be won and lost again in this midfield. And we've got to flood that and make sure we win the midfield battle.
I get that.
You can cover for your... Sorry, mate.
Carry on, Billy. What was you going to say?
No, I'm saying you can compensate for talking sake for Shooter for a centre half in there when you've got two fit players round about him. You know what I mean? With Golson playing to the left of him for talking sake.
Have we no learned a lesson for the cup final of playing somebody that's no fit?
Aye, I know, Ox, but there's a in my opinion, mate, there's a big difference. You get away with it playing a defender in there, right? He's fit, but he's maybe no match fit. But listen, the guy will be naturally fit, so he's got to have a good 60 minutes in him anyway. You know what I mean? When you're talking about, like say, the laddie Raskin, if he's been carrying a quad strain for talking sake, in that midfield engine room, mate, that's the player's going to be able to run off him all the time, and that's just my thinking. Me playing Shooter in there, mate, in that three, with Jack and Tavernier sitting in front of him to protect him.
If it is a quad, he'll not be playing on Saturday. If it was a quad, he'll not be playing. No, there's no chance. He's not going to make it in time. GB, what was your rationale with your team?
Just the whole Raskin thing, Ox, it's purely... We've seen him in games recently, Ox, that he's been blown after 60 minutes. I mean, some folk might think that's all right to put him on for the 60 minutes, but I just think we need to be solid for the full 90, Ox. We can use the subs as and when. I would much rather have probably Raskin, if he's not got the game time, Ox, I would much rather see him on the bench and maybe come on for a period of the game in the second half to kind of shore us up a bit, kind of do that kind of dirty work to keep the scoreline hopefully sitting at 4-0. You know what I mean? But the whole Morelos thing, I don't want it to start up front, Ox, but I don't know. I think our manager's he doesn't veer too far away from the norm, and he'll be expecting Morelos to do the kind of hold-up play and to bring Tillman into the game, much like what we've seen in the weekend, Ox. I think what we've seen against Dundee United is got to be nearly a mirror image of what we're going to see against Celtic. All
right. What's your thinking? I get your thinking. Do you think that Raskin will start, mate? Coming back for injury?
I don't. I think if he was going to start, would have been hearing about it now. I mean, I think Rangers is good at the moment. Years ago, every story came leaking out the dressing room, but we don't hear nothing now, and that's good for me. I don't want anybody else to know. I don't see us going free at the back. I don't think Suter's got enough minutes. They talk about minutes in the legs now, but he's no match fit. He's still no match fit. He was out for how many months? And he's in 12 minutes here, half an hour there. He's not really get the time. If we're hanging on to a 3-1 lead, which I'm hoping to be doing, and bring him on to shore up the defence, I don't know. The one player, and he's not my favourite player, he is not my favourite player, but he seems to get a tune out himself when he's playing against Celtic, is Sakala. Because they don't like the pace, they don't like people running. He's got no finesse about him or anything, but he can score a goal, he can terrorise defences with his pace. I'd like to see Sakala in the right-hand side. I would probably look for Morelos up front. Morelos loves the battle. Morelos loves the fight. And I think we've not seen the best of Morelos this season. But, you know, he likes to get stuck in. So let's hope he gets stuck in against Torbett's Tamperers on Saturday.
I think Sakala will play, mate. Yeah, I do think Sakala will play.
And I think they'll bring right on. I think they'll bring right on with 20 minutes to go. Again, it's pace. He's got a lot of pace. I mean, Mick Beale seems to, I don't know, he seems to like Scott Wright. He seems to bring him on and he gets a tune out of him. But we're all sitting here talking, Michael Beale and his backroom staff know a wee bit more about football than what we do, and let's hope he gets it right this time. His report card at the moment's probably...
Well, what judgment on that, if he knows more about football than us, to Monday, mate.
But I think
he's got the poster money. He's got the...
Michael Beale's report card since he came is A+. It really is A+. He's had one defeat and it was okay. He held his hands up, said he picked the right team. Don't do it again, Michael. And his record in the league it's fantastic compared to what we were getting. The performances are stinking the place out at times, but we're grinding results out. If you take it, Pittodrie, that last minute winner for Arfield, the last two that he scored, we would never have done that the past couple of seasons.
No.
So he's getting something. He's getting something out of the players, and let's hope he really gets it out of them on Saturday.
GB, what's something else?
Ox, it was just to get your kind of thoughts on it. Do you think the manager's going to pull a rabbit out of the hat at the weekend? Do you think there's going to be a player that will start?
I agree with Billy. McGregor will be in goal.
Right, go on then. Let's hear your team and your reasons behind it.
This is what I think the manager will pick. This is not the team I would pick, but this is what I think the manager will pick. I think he'll go with the usual back five. And I think he'll play John Lundstrom. And I don't know if I would personally, but I think the manager will play Lundstrom. I think Ryan Jack will play. And then it'll be, I think Cantwell will play in front of him. I think the manager will play Morelos, Kent, and Sakala. And so arguably our best player in the last few weeks, the guys gave us all the entertainment, will be on the bench. It could still be our match winner, Mr. Tillman. But that's the team I think the manager will play. Bizarre as it seems. Yeah, and even though I thought John Lundstrom against him the last time at Hampden was stinking. The time before it in the league, he was arguably our best player, GB. But I think that's the way the manager will go.
That's where I went with my kind of team.
On you go.
I'm going to disappear. Thanks very much for taking my call. Just a last question for you, the panel, and all your listeners. One very quick question for Saturday. What was the cry?
You know what the cry is.
No surrender.
Right, take it easy, Oaks. Take it easy, the rest of the panel, and I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.
Cheers, Ian.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, Paul.
Ox, that's where I was going with my kind of pick with the team and stuff like that, is what the manager would actually to go away at the weekend. If I had my own pick, it would be the same back five that I said, and it would be Raskin, Jack, Cantwell, and then up front would be Tillman, Sakala, and Cholak would be my picks. That would be my, if I could go and put a team in the park, that's what I'd pick. But my original team's basically what the manager's got to do, because he, like I say, is tried and tested, I think.
One of the best forward performances we've seen, the two away from home, was Hearts and Hibs. I know they're not in great form, Billy. One game Cholak played. One game Cholak played, and one game Alfie played. And I thought I actually think the performance at Easter Road was better than the performance at Tynecastle. And I thought that the movement with Cholak, Sakala, and Kent that night was excellent. Because we can't just sit back and defend. We're going to go and try and get the ball at the park. If you just invite trouble, you'll lose a goal and you'll become chasing the game. And it's a hard game when you chase it, but I think you'll go with. Yeah, I think you might play 3 out of 4 of them, and I think it'll be Sakala, Kent, and I think you'll go with Morelos, Billy. I'm not saying I would maybe try something different, but I think that's the team the manager will go with.
Well, you'll probably know before half being right there. But the team that I gave you was just the team that the way I would pick the team for that game. I'd probably get shot down in flames for it by playing Suter, but I think, as I said, you've got to win the midfield in these games. That's where it's won and lost. You've got to put a stamper in that midfield. But back to what you were talking about against Hearts and Hibs, some of the football we played that night, and both games, mate, was an absolute joy to watch. As you said, the movement was superb. At Easter Road with our front three, and when you look at Lundstrom at Tynecastle, Lundstrom had a great game at Tynecastle. You know what I mean? He was all apart. He was stamping his authority all apart. But that was due to the fact, Ox, that the way Hearts had set up as well. So, I mean, Hearts and Hibs, they set up to have a go at the Rangers that night. And listen, Celtic, when you look at it from that perspective, Celtic will want to have a go at Rangers as well. So if they want to have a go at us, so we'll find the same space.
Should do.
Yeah. We should find the same spaces that we did against Hibs and Hearts, albeit we're playing Celtic on their own patch. So it could go that way too, mate. But you always bang on about this. If we play, we win. In my opinion, Ox, and they can say what they want. We've definitely got the better footballing team. And if we turn up on Saturday, we win the game. It's as simple as that. Simple as that.
Well, let's hear from these.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, listen, I get it. It's all about opinions. Everybody's got their favourites. Everybody's got preferred formations. Everybody's got guys they don't like. GB, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Ox, could this be a game that we could forgive the manager for trying something different? In a sense that if it doesn't go, say,
I'll put it to you this way, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever he does, if we win, we'll say fair play to him. If he does the exact same decision and we don't win, we'll no say fair play to him. It'll only be right in hindsight, Billy.
That's bang on the money, mate. That's bang on the money. I mean, but as I said earlier on in the show, we've got nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. Everybody in their dugs has got us written off, and they shouldn't need any more momentum. Sorry, any momentum. Momentum. What am I talking about? They shouldn't need any more passion to go and win this game on Saturday. Especially going and playing there. They should get off that bus, get the earphones on, don't even look at them, be focused, go into the changing room, know what it's all about. They want to beat us, they want to destroy us, they want to wipe the flares at Parkhead. That should be all the motivation they need, the players. And they owe our support a game here. You know what I mean? And listen, they can turn around and say, well, if Celtic win, the league's over. And then, if Rangers need to win it, it's one of the ones that they can turn around and say, well, for any slim chances you had to win in the league, it's now down to 6 points. You know how the media's got to perceive it if they win or lose. So it's not a stick or twist game as far as I'm concerned, Docs. And if we win it, then the psychological pendulum swings back into Rangers' favour, because we've got it, it's down to 6 points. And then we get into the semi-final. And if we can turn them out in the semi-final, that's another psychological battle we've won. And then they've got to come to Ibrox and we can turn them out again. And that's another psychological battle we've won. Because nobody's tested their bottle locks, and that's what's annoying. And if that, I'm telling you something right now, if that goes down to 3 points, they'll I'll keep it polite, mate. There'll be some broom going in their nest, trust me, because they'll bottle it and it'll be helicopter Sunday all over again. Because they think they've got the League One and dusted this treble one and all the rest of it. Because they think it's a gimme, and it's not a gimme at all. It's not over to the fat lady things. It's as simple as that. Cheers,
mate. That's plenty, Isaac. Right. GB. Is it a big game for the manager?
Ox, I think it's massive in the sense that I think he's got to be playing the strongest Celtic team so far this season, because they'll be going all out this weekend to win against us. It's a big important win for them this weekend if they get it. But I think this is the biggest test for the manager, because if he can get his team right, his tactics right, the right on-form players on the park and win the game, then the confidence he's got to take out of this, as Billy's touched on, it could be the kind of snowball effect, especially going into the semi-final as well, knowing that he's already beat probably Celtic at their strongest. So I think the manager's got to get this one right. As I've touched on before, this season for me, no matter how it goes, we're still going to have Michael Beale in charge next season.
Yeah, without a doubt, mate. Without a doubt, yeah.
But the excuse, I think this is a time where it's a kind of game, Ox, like I says, this is a time where if he's wanting to try stuff, then he's probably not going to get a better chance to know there, if you mean. If he's wanting to try a different system, or he's wanting to try a player out of nowhere in the team against Celtic, then now's the time to do it, because next season he's not going to have this opportunity to do it, Ox. I think, like it says, all his excuses have got to be used up, and then, like it says, starting next season, it's got to be better in the medal. He's not going to have anywhere to manoeuvre, because he's got to have his own team, and he's going to have plenty of all-firm games to practice against Celtic.
You don't practice against Celtic, mate.
Well, you know what I mean. But he's gone in there with tactics, Ox, right? So what I'm meaning with that is every time he's been playing Celtic, right, he should be learning. So the cup final, well, the Ibrox game, he should have learned for that. The cup final, he should be learning for that. If he goes into this weekend and it's another defeat, he's got to learn for these things, Ox, because if he goes into next season and it's another defeat at the start of the season or something like that, then
pressure mounts. Pressure mounts. Bizarrely, I get where you're coming from. But I'm in Billy's camp. We won on Saturday, and then it goes a different way. Yeah, and I don't see how we can't win. That's what I'm saying. We've got people that we know can perform in big games. Have they done it at times this season? No, they haven't. But we know they can do it better.
I think that's right, Ox. I mean, look at our league form. Let's not forget. Listen, we're a hard lot to please. We all understand that. We speak about it ourselves. Or hear the guys listening, all the bears listening on social media. We've got folk come on the show say this and next thing, that and the next thing, mate, regarding the football we're playing. You know what I mean? Listen, it's important. Even Barcelona, Real Madrid, you can't play brilliant football week in, week out. And let's put it into perspective as well, right? We've had a new manager coming in here, right? And he's won 14 out of possible 15 league games. That's what he's won, right? And we've scored 40 goals or something in the 14 or 15 games. That's what we've done since Michael Beale's come in the league. Have we got a caller? Have we, brother?
We've been jobbed by old Davy.
Good.
How you doing, guys?
All right.
Sorry, I'm a wee bit late. I had a couple of things to do.
All right, okay. Was that the Twins visit you tonight, was it?
No, regarding what we're talking about, well, from what I've been listening to so far, great points. I think, this is in my opinion, I think Saturday's game will show us who wants to be at Ibrox and play for Rangers and who doesn't want to be at Ibrox. I think this will show all the doubters, and I'm one of them, who wants to be there and who doesn't want to be, and it's up to them to do that.
David, do you think the manager should know that already? Well,
you're probably right. you're probably right, but that's different for what depends on what team he puts out and how they turn up. But I think a few of them, it's a big learning curve. The guy's got a lot in front of him, but to me, how this game will turn out will depend on who turns up and who doesn't turn up. And I think that'll give us a good sort of indicator of who wants to be there and who doesn't want to be. As you say, yeah, Dale should get to know that.
Yeah. What's Davies thinking about the team then? How would you go? And where do you stand on the young boy Raskin? Do you think it's the right game to put him in? Any game when you've been out for a month and you've hardly played any football in 6, would you start him?
No. Well, we learnt the lesson with Lundstrom, didn't we? It's the same scenario. You can't, and I'm not too keen on the big man, coming in at centre half with Coulson. I don't think he's played enough either. But sure. I mean, sure. I don't think I think that'd be a bit risky against their pace. Maybe if we could shore it up for a while, see how the game goes. If we get in front, bring them on for the latter bit. But that's just up to the manager and how he sees the game going. I mean, we've just got to come out there and run them into the ground. And I just wonder if we get the team to do that.
If something we do like is real pace in our team, we've got pace. Guys that are pacey. Cantwell can shift, and he's not electric. Sakala's pace for his base teams. Kent's reasonably quick, but you go to the defence. The whole back four's not particularly quick, if we're being honest, GB.
No, it's I mean, sometimes, like, say, even Ben Davis, it looks a bit sluggish getting back. He doesn't look as though he's got a lot of pace. But one thing about Ben Davis is he just cleans up box. If he knows that it's the pass is known or that he's got to make a decision, he usually just puts it out of play and allows the team to breathe and get back into position. And that's what, again, we've got to do the weekend, Ox. I think, like I say, is none of this, we'll just see what happens and let them run into the box. No, just smash them, get the ball off them and just put it in the park, regroup. And like I say, is just make sure we're not allowing them to get down the wings and stuff like that, because they know that's our weak side, Ox, especially like you're saying, talking about pace. They know they can get at Taff, they know they can get at Borner. But that's where the manager's got to have his lieutenants ready, like say Jack and Lundstrom. They've got to help doing these sides when they go to push. So it's probably, by the way, something that the manager will be looking at, I think, in come the summer. I think that part of these signings that he's looking at, I think he'll be looking to get either a pacey right-sided defender in or somebody challenged Harvey anyway, I think, Ox. Somebody will be in there and amongst the list, because, again, as the years are going on, it is getting a bit slower at the back.
Big summer for the boy Devine, mate, if he's going to kick on.
Aye, Ox, it's again massive. I mean, if you start seeing signings coming in, Ox, then you start to wonder where your position is in the team. I mean, and then the only option really is, if you're going to hang about, then you're going to end up going out and loan, and he's got to really push them. This pre-season is going to be important for a lot of players. And by the way, as David touched on, this weekend's game's got to be important still for a lot of players. As much as the managers maybe made the decision on a lot of them, I think, like say John Lundstrom, if he keeps performing the way he has been, then I think it'll make an easier decision for the manager to have a conversation at the end of the season with him. He's got to turn up. He's got to have that Hearts performance in him this weekend.
You think Lundstrom will worry about that? Or he just sit and take his money for another year and do what he done at Sheffield United, then move on?
Possibly, Ox. I think he could be a guy like that who would just sit and take the money. That's where the manager's got to come in.
That's the gamble. If you've got a year left in your contract, I think he's got a year left, John. It doesn't matter what the manager says to you. You can sit and take your 30 grand a week. Anyway, Davey, let's hope that Michael Beale, he's a lot of things, but he ain't daft, is he?
Certainly no, but what I was going to suggest, which this will probably sound corny to you guys, but I'd like to see him throw a red herring in there. I'd like to see him. Everybody's talking.
Well, we went with that with a 3-5-2. So, what's your idea?
No. Well, but a 3-5-2. Well, it's the same scenario because they're going to be. We're sort of typewritten to them. They know how we're setting up and how we play all the time. So, if he jiggles it about a lot and switches people about, and team are saying the formation, and even trying Tillman up front, that could throw a wee bit of a spanner into their thinking, that's just all I'm saying. We can't be as predictable, I think, as what we've been.
If I was picking the team bizarrely, as much as he's the guy, if you take it, the game at Ibrox when we should have won in January, Billy, the last game there, this time last year, roughly when Sakala equalised and ran them ragged, I'd actually think about putting Sakala through the middle.
Listen, that's another option. Fashion Sakala going through the middle, he can play that role. Does he know? I think he plays a similar role for his country. So why you could also go down that road and all. But Davey, I like to see a red herring getting through in there and all, because I mean you've got to keep them guessing. You know what I mean? Yeah. They'll say the Rangers. They'll say, the Rangers are coming here. This is the way they normally play. This is the way they've played the last twice type thing. But if we can out-fox him tactically, and we maybe tweaking that formation a wee bit, roundabout, and that was just how I went to 3-5-2. And as I said, I know Shooter's obviously had a lot of game time, mate. But when you've got Tavernier, for talk's sake, Jack Lundstrom playing in front of him there, they can cover for him, And if you get a good hour out the boy, then and the things are going our way, then you can change the shape of the team to suit the game as it goes on. But I say it before, mate, and I'll say it again. We've got to win the midfield. That's the key to this game. We've got to win the midfield. We win the midfield, we win the game. It's as simple as that.
No, not true, Billy. Not
true.
Not true. You only win a game of football by scoring one more goal than the other team.
well, that's true or not, right enough. That's true or not. But you win that.
That's the only fact that's true in a game of football, correct, Davey?
Yeah, no, you're spot on. The bottom line is you got to score more than the other team. It's just all to play for. That's the main thing. It's all to play for. We're not where we were going back a wee bit. We just went after Bale there after 55 and we missed the boat. No doing what we should have done. And let that monkey mob get in front of us again. So still a wee bit of catching up to do, but I don't think there's a lot in it. That's why I'm saying this will be a big difference. We'll see a big difference in who wants to play for Rangers on Saturday. And it doesn't matter what the manager thinks, but on the performance alone, it should tell you a lot. And if we get something from that, all the better.
Yeah. Billy, if you control the midfield, hopefully you should make more chances, but teams can break away and score.
Oh, listen, that's part and parcel of football. I know that, mate, and listen, you're right enough. But you're saying we need
to score goals, but we also need to keep them out.
Aye, of course, you keep them out. But listen, I said that before and I'll say it again and all. They like to break in numbers. You know what I mean? They're breaking in 4s, 5s and 6s. And we've got to nullify that. We've got to stop that space and stop them from breaking in their numbers. And then when they're all, for talking about pressing you high up the park, it's going to leave that space. I've spoken about that before. The spaces in between McGregor and their back four. And their back four's rank rotten. They're rank rotten. And we can get at them and we can hurt them. And Tillman can hurt them, and so can Kolach, and so can Cantwell. You know what I mean? And you've got Tavernier, and he's always capable of popping up at the back post type thing, making the late runs into the box to score goals too. So we've got players in different positions and forward, for talk's sake, that can make forward thinking runs. and scored goals in the areas, Ox. So, listen, I've got the battle fever on again, mate. I'm ready for this now.
Davey, how many Easter eggs do you think you'll get?
Just regarding that last comment, I've been the battlefield feature for 65 years.
There's another name for that.
I don't know. I was eyeing up a couple of days. I was in the husband, but they were too dear.
David, I liked your question last night. That was it. What was it you said again?
What game you would like to win?
Aye, that was a bit. That's new. If you like a Cadbury's Maltese or
no, not really. It was a sort of, just a wee quizzy question. We all want to win it. We want to win every game against that Mikey Mob. We all know that. But what I was just saying is, if you had a choice, would you want to win the cup game or the league game? And I just wanted to see what the kind of, and I think I was right with what everybody answered. It was more or less, we would prefer the cup, but we want to win every game against that lot.
Oh, see, to be honest,
plenty, Isa, yeah. Right, GB. If Michael Beale does win this game, 15 out of 16, it's remarkable, really, isn't it?
Ox, we've said that a lot. Title one in form. I mean, and I would love him to win it, Ox, just for the work he's put in since he's came into the club. I mean, the way he's turned that team around. I mean, the Aberdeen game, the Hibs game, that. I mean, the games would have been lost the way we were playing, and it just shows you that he's got quality there to come in and give them a mindset to get back in about it. And he was very unlucky with the cup final. I felt he just went with the guys he trusted.
So?
And
you think so?
I think he went with loyalty.
I think he was unlucky at Ibrox. We got what we deserved in the cup final, mate.
Aye, we got what we deserved, but himself went with loyalty, Ox, in that cup final, and I think this weekend he's going to go with a team that's going to go out and challenge him properly this time round. I think, like it says, he went with guys because they declared themselves fit in the last cup final game, and that's just basically his nature. I mean, but I think, like I says, this time round he's learnt for it, Ox, and like I says, I think if he wins this game, it could send him on a trajectory of his Ibrox career. I mean, I think this game could snowball and give team confidence, him confidence, even the fan base confidence as well, going into next season, Ox.
Yeah, I agree with you, GB. Billy, if he does win this game, and hopefully we do, 15 out of 16 man draw, I think more people will be buying a ticket for the Michael Beale train.
Aye, definitely, mate. It's a psychological battle that you win as well, winning this game, going to their patch in front of all their fans, with nobody there, just 11 blue jerseys and their management team, and going there and turning them out, mate. That's what it's all about. And that's, as well, Ox, the psychological side in football is massive, just as much as ability in football is. And you know how that can kick you on. But listen, we win that one. Michael Beale will have that wee feather in his cap. He'll have obviously learned for the last two games. And it gives us a great foundation to kick on for the rest of the season. And as I said early on in the show, you never know what could happen. You just never know, eh?
Davey, the Michael Beale train, you don't get a cheap ticket on it, but would you be on it?
Oh, you can't not be on it, can you? With that kind of what he's got going. I mean, and as regarding the game itself, I know this might sound a wee bit flat here. I'll take any good result from that game on Saturday, as long as we don't get a scudding. If we come out of there not losing that game and get into that cup game, that might sound negative, but I think we'll be more stronger if we don't come out of there and get a doing.
But
which everybody anticipates we're going to get.
traditionally, Davey, you went there hoping to win, and it didn't matter in the form. You went hoping to win, and you would always take a draw. But obviously, with us shooting myself in the foot in the league against the lesser teams, what made it difficult for myself and put myself under pressure, Davey.
Exactly that. But I mean, the thing is, when we used to go to Parkhead, there was about 25,000-30,000 bears out there shouting them on. They've not got a soul there on Saturday. And that's a big factor as well. And that'll be a big factor in how we turn up and how we cope with that. And that's why I'm saying any good result out of that game, that might sound corny to a lot of you. Well, that's just my opinion. But it's 1 each, 2 each, 0 each. As long as we don't come out there losing and we get into the cup game, I'll be quite satisfied with that. That doesn't maybe not sound too good to too many people, but that's the way I'm looking at it.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking for a victory personally, GB. I think for so many reasons. Yeah, a victory would just catapult Michael Beale. The fans would galvanise, and the feel-good factor would come back. Maybe only for a week, but come back.
The Easter weekend would be quite enjoyable, Ox, that's for sure. You know what I mean, especially with that holiday Monday. You know what I mean, no, Ox. I agree with Davey in his opinion. Like, you don't want to come out of there with a scudding or anything like that. So worst case scenario, if it's a draw, it's a draw. But I'm kind of more in your camp. I think Beale needs the win. I think he needs to show that he's got Celtic's number. He needs to go in there and get a good performance. And again, as Davies touched on, there's no Rangers fans there, so Beale's getting the toughest test he probably can against Celtic, because they'll be wanting this win, and like I says, they try and tie up this title. So, but again, he's got his toughest test probably all season against them, and like I says, if it's a win, it'll be a massive win.
Where do you stand, Billy? I mean, is there a big difference between no fans and 800?
Of course there is. Of course there is. Listen, the more I think about it, I was all for no giving them nothing type thing, right, you know? But listen, I can see it for the Rangers supporters' point of view that's gone away from home all the time. They want to go and support the Rangers, and especially wanting more so to go there and shout the Rangers on against that mob in the rain patch. So I'm disappointed there's not going to be any Rangers fans here, and I just hope that this tit for tat kind of thing between both clubs, or whatever the case may be. I don't know the ins and outs yet, but I just hope if for the Rangers side that we've no built a rod for a rain back here, because I want to see the Rangers supporters at Parkhead, and I want to see them when we score there. I want to go and see the Rangers players going out and celebrating with our fans. That's what I want. And then at full time when we win the game, I want to see them celebrating with our fans as well. So it's no right, Ox, and something's got to give regarding this scenario, because it's to me it's taking away the passion and the spectacle of the Old Firm game, mate, because we've all been at the games years and years ago, the old Rangers end in the jungle at Parkhead and whatnot, and then at Ibrox, you know what I mean, and the atmosphere was electric, you know what I mean, New Year's Day and all that, up that Rangers end, the place was absolutely rocking, you know what I mean, you couldn't get moving, swaying all about all the place and that, you know what I mean, it was electric, and it was a brilliant game to go and just to watch for the stands and that, you know what I mean, so there's got to be something sorted here, Ox, because it can't continue, mate, because it's no good for the spectacle of the Rangers Celtic game. It's as simple as that.
Somebody said to me, I'll go to you first then, GB. Somebody said to me it could be another death knell in Scottish football, and I never really thought about it. And then they said, well, would the broadcasters want that game if it's no such a spectacle?
Yeah, you need two supporters. You need both supporters there. You need the passion. You can't have passion just on 50,000 of one team and 65,000 of another team at a different game. that's no a football match. That's just I don't even know what you could call that.
Where do you stand, GB?
I think the fans have got to be there, and by the way, I agree with you with the whole Scottish football thing as well. I mean, you think about Sky when we last won there with Steven Gerrard, when he ran on and he hit the camera away, and the players ran up to our fans and they're celebrating and all that. I mean,
come on, wasn't it the last time when you're forgetting about Conor Golson's 2 goals?
Sorry, 55. Yes. How dare I? But fans-wise, we're talking about fans. So the last time our fans there seen a win, then that's the passion and everything else that came with that. I mean, we touched on Alan McGregor with that save with Samaras. I mean, I was there that day, and when they had that full stand, and there's nothing better than having that win, and you're rubbing it into that many of them. I mean, it takes away the spectacle of it. I'm not saying they should have as much as the Alan McGregor game allocation, but all firm's all firm, and that's why guys sign up to it. To be honest, they start messing about with it, you're going to end up losing it.
I get it, because people don't want them at their place and understand that they're entitled to their point of view, but in my opinion, only my opinion, I don't think it's the same spectacle or the same game, if I'm being honest, David.
Well, you seen that in the cup final, didn't you? I mean, that's what that game generates, and that's not going to be the case on Saturday, and it'll not be the case till next to the semi-finals, and it'll not be the case at Ibrox. So we'll revert back to the same thing that's going to happen on Saturday, and that's not healthy for the game, not at all.
Mm-hmm. Aye. It's, I also think the youngsters, as you rightly said, Billy, are missing out. It's no fair on the youngsters who want to go and support their team, all generations, but particularly the youngsters that aren't getting a chance yet.
Of course, Ox, it's not right, and it's as simple as that. And the powers that be between the two clubs and the governing body, the Scottish football, they need a shake, and they need to knock their heads together and get them round a table here and discuss this, because obviously, we don't like them, they don't like us. That's a formality anyway. We don't like what they sing, they don't like what we sing. It's as simple as that, right? But the bottom line here is there's supporters that want to go and support their team here, and they're not getting to go, and that's wrong in my book. That's wrong, and it needs to change, Ox, because as Davey said, you're killing the spectacle of the game. You can see the difference for the cup final. You'll see the difference in the semi-final. You know what I mean? And it's not that as well. I mean, obviously, the Rangers support for the 800 or 900, whatever we did to at Parkhead there, right? I mean, they're stuck away on that corner, hemmed in, or penned in, or whatever you want to call it. And you know what I mean? The Rangers support, the Rangers players are coming out there, and they can't even see their own fans. You know what I mean? And it's wrong, Ox, and it's got to stop, because, I mean, I touched on it earlier on at the start of the show, mate. How can you attract top sponsorship deals and top TV deals if you've not got a product to sell? It's as simple as that, mate.
I don't disagree. It did start a long time ago when they started giving Rangers supporters restricted view. Yeah, in my opinion, that there's only one team caused it. The whole thing, and it ain't us. Because remember, they couldn't sell all their seats till we come back, GB.
No, that's it. I mean, and like I says, the only thing is that Rangers started to become a wee bit more switched on, knowing that they could sell more season tickets and stuff like that, and obviously generate more money, which obviously we needed at the time. You know what I mean? But I think once we get in a strong foothold, it would be I says they need, as Billy says, they need to knock their heads together and just think of the spectacle, because there's folk now starting to creep in saying, oh well, look at the derbies like say Inter Milan and all that. They don't have their fans travelling. In Turkey, they don't have their fans travelling. It's all closed off to the away fans and all that. But how many people tune into the games? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Nobody really bores with the games. Everybody tunes into an Old Firm game because you've got the hatred and everything else that goes with it. You've got the two fans.
Are you serious? The viewing figures for the Turkish games and some of the Italian games, mate. Yeah.
But how often do we see it in the press, Ox, about these games? Like, I mean, when you turn on Sky Sports, who do you see most? You see the Old Firm there. You don't see them talking about the Besiktas or anything like that game. They don't see them talking about Inter Milan game.
You want to feel your own Sky Turkey, Billy, wouldn't you?
But I bet you would hear about it, and you would hear about the Old Firm game more than you would in the countries. That's the thing. Yeah.
You might hear about in Turkey if Hadji was playing and scored the winner. Apart from that, you'll just have it going across the ticker tape, mate. You know. They've got their big clubs there, massive. 80 million people live in Turkey, mate.
No, I get that, Ox, but I just don't think, like, again, the TV, we're talking about the TV and global interest and stuff like that. I think if the Old Firm games got global interest, I don't think the like say a Turkish game's derby's going to have global interest. I don't think I wouldn't be sitting down.
See if the Turkish teams, there's thousands of pubs in London, mate, with trucks in them, following them watching the games. Yeah, the population worldwide massive, mate, and yeah. You know, we're a big game. Yeah, big game. Big historic game, arguably the greatest rivalry in the world. But some of these cities are massive. Davey, yeah?
Oh, definitely. We've seen it. You can see it, but I mean, we can talk about it and we can see it, but we know what we feel about this game, and what other games generate. I really no interested in, and that's what I think we need to do in Saturday. We have got to come out. We can't come out like we did in the cup final. We've got to do them like a stinking rash and get in there, give it a hunt, leave everyone out at Mark Park and see where it takes us.
Right, okay, cheers, Davey. Good to hear from you. And when are you opening your egg Sunday, mate?
Sorry?
When are you opening your egg Sunday?
I'll think about it. Anyway, thanks very much for having us on, guys. It's always a pleasure. Great show in town, and you all stay safe. God bless the Rangers.
Yeah. Billy boy.
Aye, thanks for having us on, Ox. It's been an interesting wee evening, to say the least, brother. Good to be on with GB as well, your good self. Looking forward to the game now on Saturday. And listen, I'll take a bridge man on Saturday. 1-0 to the Rangers will do me. I could not care what, long as we win on Saturday. I don't care, mate. Come on, the Rangers, no surrender into this mob.
Yeah. GB.
Aye, Ox, good debate tonight, especially across a few topics, especially how important European football is to Rangers at this point in time. Bringing in money, and what says on to the weekend, mate.
Oh, I was doing all right up to the night and talking to Aldine. It was great to hear from him, but the battlefield's just kicked in. That's it. No sleep with the Malta. Anyway, it was great to hear from you, Ian. A blast for the past. Old Davey. A blast for the future. The one and only Billy and GB. Thanks to Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Thanks to listening. Everybody enjoy the bank holiday tomorrow if you're not working. But Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 as we build up to Rangers victory on Saturday. Take it away, Old School Blue.
heard of Rangers, the famous Glasgow Rangers, that team of giants who come from Ibrox Park. They've won honours from Russia to Australia, but now at Hampden they're gonna make their mark. The Scottish Cup will soon be in their hands. John was the proudest in the land. The Blues are gonna win the cup. Viva El Rangers. We know the boys will run amok. Viva El Rangers. And with every single goal they score. Viva El Rangers. We'll give the lads a hand and roar. El Rangers. We are the people and there's really no denying that they've been trying to put us out the cup. With men like Greg and Fearless and Jardine, them it has been impossible to stop. The skills of Miller, Forsyth and McKean, they'll need a hurricane to stop our team. And the Blues are gonna win the cup. Viva El Rangers. We know the boys will run amok. Viva El Rangers. And with every single goal they score. Viva El Rangers. We'll give the lads a hand and roar. El Rangers, ball. There'll be Tommy, Colin, Jackson and Big Peter. He's got hands to stop an avalanche. Johnson, Derry, Pauline and McDonald. It's a doddle for Wallace and the boys. The chant of easy, easy from the fans. The cheers are really gonna get into them. And the Blues are gonna win the cup. Viva El Rangers. We know the boys will run amok. Viva El Rangers. And with every single goal they score. Viva El Rangers. We'll give the lads a hand and roar. El Rangers, ball, ball. La 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 la. Viva El Rangers. La 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 la. Viva El Rangers. La 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 la. Viva El Rangers. We'll give the lads a hand and roar. El Rangers, ball, ball, ball.